to bring large ships into port. It would be dangerous in the harbor channels with their heavy boat traffic. The ships wait far out in the harbor until the fog rises, and the harbor pilots consider it safe to bring them to dock. The pilots must be able to see half a mile. The fog is rising slowly, and soon ships can enter the port. Two passing ships must see each other in time to stop and avoid a collision. In general, a ship can stop in its own length. This freighter entered the harbor without a harbor pilot and crashed into the pier, ripping out the stern of the ship. A good thing the damage was above the waterline, or the ship might have sunk. The repair crew is working hard to rebuild the ship and put the freighter back into service. Some boats are allowed to enter with their own pilot if he has a special license for the port. You can see that a harbor pilot that knows the harbor is absolutely necessary. Bob investigates the old anchors and buoys and parts of wrecked boats. But look, the large bridge is going straight up. A big ship must be coming. Bob listens for her to signal for the bridge. 3 long whistles. The bridge tender knows that the ship is turning for the bridge. 4 or more whistles would be a danger signal. Bob knows the different whistle signals. How skillfully the harbor pilot navigates the large ship through the narrow bridge. This ship is a United Fruit Company freighter, bringing a load of bananas from Central America. All harbors have harbor pilots because the captains on the ships cannot know the dangers that can be encountered in channels in all the ports they visit around the world. Bob's uncle, Captain Brown, is a port pilot and has invited Bob to visit the pilot station at the harbor entrance. Bob is interested in the port channel lights that flash a warning to the ships that arrive at night or in a storm. At important points along the harbor channels, lights flash, foghorns blow, and bells ring. They signify to the pilots where the channels are deep and safe for the large ships and also are a warning for the small craft. Bob looks up at the Marine Exchange Office on the top of the Foreign Trade Zone building. The steamship companies inform the men at the Marine station of all ships that are arriving and leaving. This red flag is a storm signal, a warning that the wind at sea is too strong for small craft. The men at the Marine Exchange telephone the pilots and keep them informed on the ships that are arriving and leaving. They also notify the tugboat company and the government officials who must meet the ships. Captain Brown looks over the list of ships for the day, the time they will arrive, where they are coming from, and where they will dock. Just think, today ships are arriving from Europe, South America, Canada, and Mexico. Captain Ollegreen shows Bob how to look through the telescope and see the ships when they are far out at sea. Through the telescope, they can tell which ship is arriving and what flag she is flying. The pilot house has modern equipment, like this loudspeaker. With it, the pilots can talk to ships a mile away. Tanker Colina, proceed to anchor until wind subsides. Wind is too strong, and you have not enough ballast to proceed to dock at present time. Flash your light if you have received the message. The pilot house light flashes messages at night to the ships far out in the harbor. The pilots operate the light by a small telegraph key. They use the Morse telegraph code that all navigators know. And now it is time for Captain Brown to meet the ship that is arriving from the Orient. Harbor pilots must have a master's and a pilot's license. Many are former ship captains. Captain Brown boards the pilot boat, and yes, Bob is invited to ride out to the ship with his uncle. Captain Brown tells Bob many things about boats and navigation. The pilot boat flies the Union Jack with its white stars. Sailing boats have right-of-way over motor vessels, except when the sailing boat is overtaking the motor vessel. If there is no wind, a sailboat cannot move quickly to avoid a collision. All pilots on both the big and little boats must know seamanship, how to handle their boats, and the water traffic laws. They must know who has the right-of-way, carry proper lights, and know the whistle signals. The large freighter is arriving from India with a load of rubber and spices. When seas are rough, it is hard for the pilot to board. But these men are trained to ride the high waves and to jump for the rope ladder at just the right moment when the swell is high. Captain Brown will be in charge of the navigating until the ship is docked. The large ship flies the red and white pilot flag while the pilot is aboard. Captain Brown directs the pilot boat to meet him at the dock. He goes immediately to the bridge and reports to the captain of the ship. Captain Brown is responsible for the safety of the ship and the safety of all on board. He directs the tugboat to come around to the port side. Tugboats are needed to help turn the boats in the harbor channels. The large ships cannot maneuver by themselves at an extremely slow speed. The watchword of the pilot is safety at all times. Proceed with caution. Captain Brown directs the seaman steering the ship. There are many navigating instruments and maps on the bridge. The ship's telegraph signals directions from the bridge to the engine room. For example, full speed ahead or stop. The captain is checking one of the main navigation instruments, the sextant. It is used to tell the location of the ship at sea. By measuring the distance between the sun, moon, and stars, the captain learns the exact longitude and latitude of the position of the ship. Thus, he can tell at any time just where his ship is. The ship proceeds past the breakwaters with their lighthouses that protect the harbor. A United States Coast Guard boat is patrolling the harbor. The Coast Guard inspect the harbor and keep all channels clear. They must keep the harbor buoys and markers well painted and in operation. Buoys have lights, bells, and horns that warn the ship when the sea is rough and stormy. The men are lifting a 7-ton buoy onto their ship to take it to their base for repairs. Underwater, the buoys become covered with barnacles and must be cleaned off. While there are international rules for the safe guidance of ships, every harbor is different and has its own navigating problems. As we are entering the bay, let's see what it would look like if our ship were approaching another harbor. If this ship were entering San Francisco Harbor, a harbor pilot would navigate her into the famous Golden Gate Bay, and she would proceed on under the Golden Gate Bridge. Each harbor has distinguishing characteristics. If a ship entered beautiful Vancouver, the local pilot would know how to steer the boat through narrow channels between the many islands. He would know the height of the bridges and the location of the different steamship docks. At the large port of Quebec, the unusual setting and picturesque scenery of the bay make it a famous vacation spot. Many ferry boats are needed for the tourists. These northern ports are closed to ships in the winter when the bay is frozen. From Quebec, ships are piloted skillfully up the mighty St. Lawrence to the large inland port of Montreal. Wherever large ships wend their way, you can be sure that a trained pilot who knows the local channel is guiding the ship safely. But let's return to Captain Brown, whose ship is about to enter a channel of the port of Los Angeles. The harbor pilots must be able to size up a water traffic situation quickly and let other boats know what they intend to do. Two passing boats must understand each other. On the port side, the ship passes the pilot station. On the starboard side, she passes the medical quarantine station and the immigration station. These stations are under the United States government and are found at all large harbors. All ships and passengers that arrive from foreign ports must be examined by the government inspectors. It is difficult to maneuver a ship into its dock space, just as it is hard to park a car on a crowded street. The pilots direct the landing operations with a whistle. The tugboats nudge the ship gently toward the dock, because the ship could not maneuver alone in the close quarters. Captain Brown signals directions to the men on the bridge, the engine room, and to the pilots on the tugboats. The men on the dock pull in the heavy ropes and fasten them securely to the dock. A stiff wind is blowing, and they will put out extra lines to hold the large ship securely in place. Our ship is safely docked. Fine work, Captain Brown. A pilot boat is waiting for Captain Brown to take him to his next vessel to move. A large passenger liner is leaving for New York. A harbor pilot must navigate the ships out of the harbor in the same way that he brings them in. Captain Brown boards the liner. It is exciting when a large passenger liner leaves port, and different farewell customs prevail in different countries. Bands play, and people throw colored paper streamers that represent last ties with the mainland. Bob wonders where all the people are going. Adventure ahead for all of them. The tugboats turn the large ship in the narrow channel. The ship blows one long blast as she leaves her pier. Bon voyage. And when you reach New York, a New York harbor pilot will meet your ship at the harbor entrance to guide you safely to your dock. The Statue of Liberty stands guard at the port of New York, the emblem of our nation's freedom and the most famous harbor landmark in the world.
Post, P-O-S-T, P-O-S-T, the cereals you like the most. The cereals made by Post take you to the secret mountain retreat of Captain Video, Master of Space, Hero of Science, Captain of the Video Rangers. Operating from his secret mountain headquarters on the planet Earth, Captain Video rallies men of goodwill and leads them against the forces of evil everywhere. As he rockets from planet to planet, let us follow the champion of justice, truth, and freedom throughout the universe. Stand by for Captain Video and his Video Rangers.
Video and the Ranger have battled the forces of space and the evil schemes of a certain Chauncey Everett. But now, on the verge of success, it seems that fate has again struck Captain Video a staggering blow. For on board the Polar Star, Chauncey Everett and his companion in crime, the man called Horace, have escaped.
How in blazes did you escape from the electronic manacles? I don't know exactly. I have an idea that in our battle with the galaxy, one of your shots probably damaged our electronic manacles. I certainly know that it isn't working at 100% efficiency now, which fact I am happy, most happy to inform.
Ranger, we're cooked.
Yeah, it looks that way, Storm. We're cooked. But thank heaven the mail isn't.
We're wasting time with all this space chatter. What are you going to do, Everett?
I'm going to show the Ranger how wrong he is about the micro mail. Ranger, would you be good enough to get away from the control panel, please?
And what if I won't?
Don't ask silly questions. If you won't do it of your own free will, I think possibly we can persuade you. Now, I assume that the longer I delay using this, the happier you will be. Am I wrong?
Are you ever wrong, Everett?
Don't get sarcastic with me. I don't have to take that from you, Horace. Would you be good enough to remove the Ranger from the control panel?
Yeah, sure. Will you go quiet, buddy?
All right. Now tie him up. The electronic manacle is useless, so find something else to tie him up.
Yeah, there's some rope in the storage chamber. Rope be all right?
Well, I have heard of it being used for that purpose, yes.
I will get things.
Let me see. The Orion's microwave channel. Let me think. Yes. Chauncey Everett here aboard the Polar Star, calling Sam Screed aboard the Orion. Microwave channel Delta 123 Gamma 369. Chauncey Everett here aboard the Polar Star, calling Sam Screed aboard the Orion. Microwave channel Delta 123 Gamma 369. Do you read me, Screed? Do you read me, Screed?
Screed, what is Chauncey Everett doing contacting you?
I don't know, but we'll soon find out. This is Sam Screed aboard the Orion, replying to Chauncey Everett aboard the Polar Star. Everett, what has happened to the Ranger?
I'll be very happy to explain in detail, Screed, when I have the time. All that is necessary for you to know at the moment is this. One, I have escaped, in fact, and I am in command aboard the Polar Star. And two, I am ordering you to heave to right where you are and wait for the Polar Star to catch up with you.
You must be Luna nutty if you think we're going to wait for you.
I am not thinking, Screed, I am acting. Now, if you value his life...
Whose life?
Who do you mean, Everett?
Why, the Ranger, of course.
Screed. He wouldn't.
You forget. You're talking about Chauncey Everett.
In other words, we'll We'll have to do as he says.
We can't, Randolph. You know that.
I heard that remark, Screed. Perhaps if you don't, you'll save your own skins.
What do you hope I gain by hurting the Ranger? You know, if we hold up the Orion for 1 minute, just 1 minute, we won't get the mail to planet Earth on schedule. So what do you hope to gain by this?
I will be the judge of that. Now, what is your answer?
We'd better ask Captain Video's advice.
Yes, certainly. Go right ahead. Contact Captain Video and ask his advice.
Go ahead, Screed.
This is Sam Screed aboard the Orion, calling Captain Video aboard the Galaxy. Come in, please. Condition red. Condition red. This is Sam Screed.
Attorney and salamanders. Now what? It appears that a difficulty has arisen. I guess I better find out what it is. Captain Video to Sam Screed. Captain Video to Sam Screed. I read you. Over.
Captain Video, this is Sam Screed. I've just been in contact with Chauncey Everett aboard the Polar Star.
Everett?
Yes, he's escaped. Don't ask me how, but he's escaped. And what's more, he's threatening to kill the Ranger if I don't hold the Orion and wait for him to catch up with us.
Great Ganymede.
You know, Captain, we're right on the nose now. If I hold up the Orion for just 1 minute, we're not going to get that mail to Earth on schedule. And that means the complete failure of the interplanetary mail service.
Chauncey Everett here. Do you read me, Captain Video?
Yes, I read you, Everett. How did you manage to get free?
Let's not play games, questions, and answers, Captain. All I want from you is the answer to one question. Now, do I kill the Ranger or don't I?
Now, look, don't be a space fool. What do you expect to gain? If you delay the Orion by as much as 1 minute, you won't be able to get the mail through on schedule either.
You can let me worry about that, Captain. That's my problem. Now, your problem is to decide whether the Orion stops or not. Now, what do you say, Captain?
Gracious, dear, gracious Captain. This is a very difficult situation to be in. Difficult? This is an impossible situation. There's an impossible situation going on at the circus right now, too. Let's run over and watch our friends Maisie and Jake as they clear it up.
My name is Maisie the Raven.
And my name is Jake the Flake.
Oh, what a sweet combination we make.
Known to the world as both raisin bran flakes. We've got a story to tell you. It happened not too long ago. There are funny old clowns
And an animal actor. Now comes the actress the people all love. The flying trapeze so high up above. The greatest and dazzle the star of the show. He's high on his wings,
but he's sure feeling low.
he's blue and depressed.
Oh, more like a day.
Everything round him looks dismal and gray.
But we'll cheer him up, oh, he'll be a new man when he tastes a bowl of that post-raisin bran. The flakes and the raisins are really a team. They give you a flavor that's right on the beam. The raisins are making the flakes taste so swell. The flakes make the raisins delicious as well. One bowl of those flakes
And those raisins, and he's ready to swing on his flying trapeze.
and as the flip-flop was already in. Will he make it?
You bet! He's back in the spring. He's a real happy man. He owes it all to both raisin bran. I'm Maisie the Raisin.
I'm Jake the Flake.
Together we're both raisin bran. That's us.
You'll love this great fruit and cereal treat. Ask Mom next time she shops to get Post Raisin Bran.
And now, Rangers, back aboard the Galaxy.
Difficult, Bud? This is an impossible situation.
I want an answer, Captain, and at once.
Give me 1 minute, Everett. Just 1 minute.
My dear Captain, why should you need time to decide? There is but one answer. You must order the Orion to stop. You cannot let them murder the Ranger.
Look, Flood. Apparently mail doesn't mean very much to you. It never does to people who have it. But out here in the black vaults of space, there are millions and millions of people on these planets who hunger for a word from home. Just a letter of some kind from their loved ones who they may have left back on planet Earth. And over and above that, empires have actually fallen because a letter didn't arrive on time. And that's why the Ranger and I have fought and battled to try and prove that an interplanetary mail service is practical and can be used. Now, you see, Fled, it's not an easy decision to make.
Your minute of grace is up, Captain. What is your answer?
There can only be one answer, Everett. Hello, Orion. Hello, Orion.
Yes, Captain.
Screed, I want you to obey Chauncey Everett's orders. Stop the Orion. Wait for him.
Very well, Captain. It means the end of the interplanetary mail service, but I guess there just ain't nothing else we can do.
Well, there may be, but sacrificing the Ranger's life isn't one of them. Hello, Everett. Hello, Everett.
Yes, Captain.
Look, Everett, I'd just like to warn you. If you do not keep your word, if you should happen to harm the Ranger, and believe me, I'll never rest until I've made you pay for it 1,000 times over.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that, Captain. I assure you the Ranger is as safe as... Well, from here on in, he's as safe as you are.
Well, he'd better be. Over and out.
Yes, Ranger. You're as safe as Captain Video. The only thing is that Captain Video himself isn't safe.
And you was lying when you told Video you wouldn't kill the Ranger.
Yes, you might say that, Mr. Storm, although I dislike the use of the word lie. I prefer half-truth.
Well, whatever you're gonna do, you better do it fast. I'll bet you right now Video is working double time on the Galaxy to get it back in shape. And when he does, he'll be lighting out after us.
How right you are, Horace. And it's part of my plan to stay right here and let him catch up with us.
You what? Are you going nuts or something? What do you want him to catch up with us for?
Because then it will be easier for me to catch him.
Hi there, Rangers. Rogers here. Well, because of cosmic interference, Rangers, I haven't been able to get through to the Galaxy. But, you know, she was supposed to land here a long time ago. And, well, Rangers, I don't have to tell you, we're quite concerned about her. So, Rangers, while we're waiting for her to come in, why do you say we check on our Texas agents, Wakely and White, and see what kind of an alibi Jane Morgan has for them? Rangers, stand by for Texas. Mark this record file number MRB-310. Come in, please. Sharp focus. Bradford, he didn't say anything about being robbed.
There's $75,000 here. Part of this money was going to help the very man you accused me of killing.
Let her hide out here till we check on Bradford. You'll give her stuff up when you want her. I'm inclined to believe you. The best thing for you to do is come along with us. Jane, if the alibi holds up, I'll do everything I can to get you off with a life sentence for robbery.
What I did to Bradford wasn't robbery. This money rightfully belongs to me. He swindled my father out of everything he owned.
Sorry, but you'll have to come back to town with us. I wish there was some other way, but...
We've got a good chance to keep you out of prison, though, Miss Jane. Don't you worry.
I want you to hold Keno for the attempted robbery of shotgun. Charge Jane with bank robbery, but let everyone think she's being held for the murder of Edgar Jones. I can't do that. That sort of makes sense, Jeff. Yet Bradford can't say anything about a bank robbery because if he does, he'll clear her of the murder charge.
Yeah, he'd much rather stick her for a murder than a bank robbery.
She's innocent. I know it.
I hope so. But just how are we going to prove all this?
Well, first we'll locate the man or woman who impersonated Jane when Ezra was killed. Then we'll smoke Bradford out into the open.
Well, it looks to me we're starting from scratch on both sides. It all sounds very irregular.
We'll take all the blame, Sheriff, if anything goes wrong.
All right. Ranger, I'm going to send you here, and I'm going to cooperate with you.
Thanks.
All right, fellas. You can go. There's nothing I can hold you for.
Hello, Jimmy. Hi, Bradford. Well, I hear the sheriff got Jane locked up in jail. That's right. Now it's up to the jury to prove she's guilty.
What do you mean, if she's guilty?
She told us a very peculiar story, Bradford. Said at the very time Ezra Jones was killed, she was in your bank robbing you of $75,000.
Didn't say anything to alibi that murder.
Wouldn't I report such a loss to you or the sheriff?
Yeah, person would think you'd say something about it.
I resent your insinuations. You'd do a lot better to spend your time trying to convict that girl than make me believe I've been robbed and refuse to admit it. Circulate a report
got everybody drawing out the money. Then we'll find out if he has been robbed.
Our fire will make 12 carriers. Leave everything down.
That'll be fine. Tomorrow when that bank opens, we want a big line in front of it. You will have it.
You're a pretty good friend of mine. You're letting me in on a little secret. I want to tell you one. I promised to keep your mouth shut. Oh, I promised. You got the money in Bradford's bank? All right, savings. Nice savings. Yeah, almost $18. Ain't sure that's good. Oh, it's taking a shotgun. I just heard Bradford's going to close his bank. All the depositors are going to lose their savings. Don't say it. Oh, I just wanted to protect you now. Or tell nobody. You can trust me, partner. You and I wouldn't have told you shotgun.
Rangers, it looks as though Banker Bradford has an ace up his sleeve that our agents didn't count on. Because if he starts paying off his depositors, that means... Well, Rangers, I guess that means that Agents Wakely and White are right back where they started from. So, Rangers, you try to be with us next time, and we'll see how our agents get out of this tough situation. This is Rogers 161, signing off. Now, Rangers, aboard the Galaxy.
You having trouble with those electronic conductors, Flood? Haven't you finished them yet?
Gracious, dear gracious, Captain. I'm working with all possible speed.
Well, work a little faster, will you? Every moment counts.
If I may say so, Captain, I don't see the point of all this speed. What is to be gained by it? Your attempt to establish the regular mail service has failed. So, speed can't help us there. Now the Ranger is safe.
Wait a minute, Flood. You don't actually believe that, do you?
Well, perhaps it's because I want to believe it.
I want to believe it, too, but I can't. See, Everett's word isn't worth a pinch of space dust. No, I think the Ranger and all the rest will be safe enough as long as they suit Everett's purpose, but I have a pretty definite feeling that just as soon as he gets aboard the Orion, as soon as he gets his hands on that cargo of micromail, and he'll try and get rid of the Ranger and all the others just as quickly as possible.
Mercy sakes, then we must work with every ounce of speed possible.
That would be the general idea.
Indeed, Captain. Well, we must keep at it with a will.
Meanwhile, as Captain Video and Phineas Flood work with furious concentration and speed to repair the Galaxy, aboard the Orion anchored in space.
Believe me, Randolph, I never felt worse about anything in my whole life. I'm to blame for this. It's my fault. Me and me alone.
Oh, nonsense, Creed, nonsense.
Is it? I don't think so. If I hadn't tried to stop you from establishing the mail service, you would have done it.
There's no point in heaping coals on your own head, Creed. In any case, here they come. What's happened has happened. It's just too late to change it now. The interplanetary mail service is a vision and nothing more.
Oh, I wouldn't say that if I were you, Mr. Randolph. You apparently are overlooking one small fact that's supreme importance.
Am I?
What are you getting at now, Screed? Are you trying to say you still think there's enough time to get the mail through on schedule?
That is precisely what I am saying. There is plenty, ample time to get the mail through on schedule.
If you think that, Everett, you've got a bigger job ahead of you than you imagine.
Oh, I don't think it's so big, Mr. Randolph. Horace, I have an idea that the electronic manacles here aboard the Orion are working with maximum efficiency. So, would you be good enough to put Mr. Storm and Mr. Randolph in them, please?
All right, you two crumbs. Back in the bread box.
Well, now, Screed, we get to the final act of our little drama. The next step in my plan, in the execution of which I am afraid I shall have to enlist your aid.
If you think I'm going to help you in your dirty work, you're mistaken. I'm not going to do it.
Oh, I think you will, Screed.
Oh, no, I won't. You can kill me if you want to, but I won't help you.
Oh, heavens, no. Kill you? That would be simply idiotic. Why should I kill you? I plan to use you. Well, possibly there's another way. Ranger, it seems as you will have to do the honors again.
Isn't this getting a bit repetitious?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am afraid that it is. I dislike to bore you. In fact, I dislike boring anyone. And so, therefore, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to tell you that I think you will find the plan that I have in mind for capturing Captain Video most interesting.
Oh, it should be fascinating.
Yes, I think, as a matter of fact, you will find it so. Well, now, Speed, are you going to be a good boy? Are you going to do as I tell you?
No.
Oh, come now, Screed, I think you will. Of course, there is a distinct possibility that you won't. But there is only one way to find out, eh, Screed? Yes. Only one way.
Well, Video Rangers, not a very pretty picture up there aboard the Orion. Now, but wait till you see the picture I'm painting for you right here. I gotta get the right color, though. A little red and a little yellow combine to give us a very pretty orange. There. And as all you Rangers know, a good combination is sometimes hard to get, but it's mighty pleasant. Whether it's a combination of colors or a combination of flavors. And right here, Rangers, is one of the best tasting combinations you ever tried. It's post-raisin bran, the fruit and cereal treat. You know what's in that package? Well, first, they take the tenderest, juiciest raisins that you ever imagined. Now, you know how sweet a nice plump raisin is. Tastes like candy. Well, sir, they mix just the right amount of those juicy, sweet raisins with just the right amount of crisp, golden flakes. And there you have this perfect combination. Post-raisin bran. The flakes add flavor to the raisins, and the raisins add flavor to the flakes. Just try a bowl full with milk and sugar. It not only tastes delicious, it's full of iron and food energy for you. Just make sure you get Post, America's favorite raisin bran. It's one of the famous triple-wrapped Post cereals. Guaranteed fresh or triple your money back.
And now, Rangers, aboard the Galaxy. All right, Flood, throw that master switch, will you?
Oh, indeedy, indeedy. To judge by the sound of those rockets, the Galaxy is now in shape again.
Yes, at least she's good enough to take us to do the job we have to do. Look, Flood, tell me, do you know anything about flying a spaceship?
Oh, I'll make an adequate co-pilot. Quite adequate, I think.
Good. Well, the first thing we have to do is to find the polar star in the Orion. After that...
This is Sam Screed aboard the Orion, calling Captain Video aboard the Galaxy. Come in, please. Come in, please.
This is Captain Video. What is it, Screed?
Well, Captain Video, I just want you to know that I have some news for you. Good news.
Well, what is it, Screed?
Well, I know it's going to sound fantastic to you, but Randolph and I have just captured Everett and Horace.
Oh, joy! Oh, Thanksgiving! Oh, happy day!
Screed, how in the universe did you do it?
Well, it was quite simple. We just took them by surprise when they came aboard the Orion. And I think maybe you'd better come over. I'll explain the whole thing to you. You better come over. We'll have a council of war.
Actually, you're right about that. Look, Frith, is the ranger all right?
Yes, he's all right. He's busy right now watching our prisoners, Rod. I'd have him talk to you.
Well, we'll be aboard the Orion as soon as we can reach you. Over and out.
Thank you, Frith. Thank you very much.
Don't mention that, Everett. Don't mention it.
So to use your own words, Everett, Frith has dealt you a few unexpected aces. And have used them to your best advantage. You think.
I am very sure of it, Captain. This is the end for all of you, and the beginning for me.
He's some wild idea that he can get the interplanetary mail to Earth on schedule.
Oh? What is it? Planetary time?
How did you know about that?
Well, I don't see what else it could be. You see, planetary time is some 7 hours ahead of Earth time. So you thought you had about 7 hours to spare, did you, Everett? Well, you're wrong. Because we've been operating this schedule on Earth time.
I'm not giving up yet, Captain Video. Not by a long shot. I'll find some way to convince the Solar Alliance that even though this mail arrived late, it's still practicable and workable to set up and maintain an interplanetary mail service.
Well, first of all, you'd better find out some way to explain to the Solar Alliance how you happen to come in possession of the mail.
No, I don't think I'll have too much difficulty with that, Captain. After all, I am an admirable liar, you know. Of course, if there were going to be any witnesses around, I might be worried. But since there aren't, no.
So you plan to get rid of all of us. Is that it?
You anticipate me, Captain. How right you are. How very right you are.
Well, Rangers, you know about as much as I do as to what's going to happen next. One thing sure, Captain Video and the Ranger and all our friends are in a bad spot. There are thrills ahead, Rangers, so be sure to watch us next time. And remember, to take excitement and action, Video Rangers need a swell-tasting breakfast. If Captain Video were here now, he'd say... Now, Rangers, a word for your parents. Every American child has the right to an education. American children are very fortunate in this respect because this condition is far from worldwide. In some countries, there is no public school system. In other countries, the school system is ineffectual. So you can be proud and thankful that learning is considered a basic right in the United States. But having such a complete and well-set-up educational system is a responsibility, too. They're your schools and only as good as you make them. Yes, it's up to you, the citizens of the United States, to make sure that your schools are strong, that they are spreading truth and real education, that they are combating bigotry and prejudice. You, as citizens, can help to ensure a sound, healthy school system. Captain Video was played by Al Hodge, the Video Ranger by Don Hastings, Everett by Scott Tennyson, Sam Screed by Jack Davis, Tyson Randolph by Gordon Mills, Horace by Arnie Freeman, Phineas Flood by Leroy O'Purdy, and Salathiel Storm by Jack Weston. Captain Video was written by George Lothar. Your announcer is Fred Scott.
This is the Dilmont Television Network.